CM Punk didn't hold anything back in the Ariel Helwani interview.
I didn't punch anybody. I just choked somebody a little bit.
AEW drama? Check. Vince McMahon? Check. Chris Benoit? Check. CM Punk basically told you everything like it is, or how he sees these situations. And you know, at the end of the day, that's why we love him so much. Obviously, CM Punk's point of view, but pretty much confirms my latest assumptions about AEW and the backstage, drama surrounding AEW. And you guys know that when I first saw the reports, I jumped into conclusions and I believed the Elite. At the end of the day, can you really blame me? Like, these guys had such a great reputation, they seemed like the good guys, right? And since CM Punk left the WWE, a lot of us were like, well, that seems like something CM Punk would do. But over time, you hear all this stuff, CM Punk leaves, the drama is still there, Tony can't run the company for shit, so it's like, okay, maybe there's more to it. And during this interview, one thing that completely changed my mind, if true, again, there's Punk's side, AEW side, and the truth. And it's the Hangman Adam Page situation, which I believe is the most unprofessional thing I've heard in a while. For the record, CM Punk talked about these fake-ass journalists, how everybody's acting like a journalist, and you guys know, never acted that way, not a journalist. I'm a wrestling YouTuber. I just happen to make videos about wrestling. A lot of my colleagues are like, trying to be these journalists and shit. And that's fine with me. I don't give a shit. It's just not what I'm here for. I'm not trying to get a job anywhere. I don't give a fuck, right? You're never going to see the Great One's logo with a microphone, with a headset. That ain't me. I'm just giving you my thoughts on shit I see. And CM Punk actually gave very well thought answers, and people are like, oh, he's so bitter. He's talking about AEW. Well, first of all, AEW are the ones who keep making references, and he was asked these questions. I'm happy he's being real. He's not like, can't answer that, don't want to talk about it. He was asked, and he gave you the answers. And that's why I like CM Punk. Maybe problematic, probably, but you know what? At least he's real. And what he said about Tony and AEW in general is barely anything new. It was just interesting hearing that from CM Punk. And I don't want to just recap the interview. Obviously, I'm here to give you my thoughts. That's why you clicked on this video. You probably watched the interview once or even twice already. And there's so much to talk about. But I want to start with some very new information. Like, I didn't know it was that bad. How it all started. So you all know about this Hangman Adam Page and CM Punk situation where Hangman went off script and said that he's basically protecting AEW from CM Punk, accusing that he got Colt Cabana fired, and CM Punk even revealed that he wasn't fired. And here's the thing. Even if it's true or not, whether he did get Colt Cabana fired or didn't, I don't know. I don't care. CM Punk revealed that it wasn't like, oh, he went off script. Backstage, they actually said, I'm gonna say this, you're going to say this, okay, I'm gonna say this, fine, I'm going to say that. Basically how it works. Well, we see the promo and Hangman Adam Page is cutting a completely different promo. CM Punk can't hear shit, so he doesn't even know how to respond, because if he's going to go with the response that, they planned, it won't make any goddamn sense, so he looked like a fool. Backstage, he asked why did you did that, and he accused CM Punk of the Colt Cabana situation. That is the most unprofessional shit I've heard in a very long time. Just like CM Punk said, you're wasting money. Not only by wasting thousands of dollars of TV time, but why the fuck are you trying to get rid of your biggest star, right? Like, holy shit. I didn't know it was that bad. CM Punk summed up the situation very well. It's high school shit drama. CM Punk said, people want to believe I just punched the shit out of everybody backstage, and that's fine, believe what you will. But to me, it seems like he was being pushed by some talent, and CM Punk is not someone who's going to take shit from anybody. And obviously, again, that's CM Punk's side. But this idea that he just completely went off script and did, something completely unplanned, that says a lot, man. This is the most unprofessional shit I've heard. The Jack Perry situation is also really silly because, CM Punk got this collision show, right? Because Tony wanted to keep CM Punk, but there was this drama, and from what I understood, CM Punk just wanted to talk it out, but the Elite wouldn't talk to him, so he was like, I'll just leave. This idea is not gonna work, splitting the rosters, it's not gonna work. Obviously, it didn't. Tony Schiavone came up to Punk and said, Jack Perry's cussing everyone out and he wants to do this real glass spot. So CM Punk tried to take care of it. He said, it's a rental car, you're going to break a window and they're gonna know that we shouldn't rent cars to wrestlers. Also, it's dangerous, it's going to get into your eye. Do this on Dynamite, you're not gonna do this on this show. What's interesting is that Jack Perry agreed, but still ended up doing this shit. And Punk basically came up to him and said, why are you doing this internet shit? Jack responded, if you have a problem with that, do something about it. So he choked him out. He said, I didn't punch everybody, I just choked him a little bit. And that's when CM Punk actually left. He said, you're a clown, I quit to Tony Khan. He still had a match against Samoa Joe because obviously there were fans. He did it for Samoa Joe, for the referee, for the people who worked on the match probably. And here's the thing. You may say CM Punk acted unprofessionally too. That's not how you react to these situations. The thing is, according to Punk, he told that shit to Tony Khan multiple times, and sometimes the answer was, oh, what do you want me to do? You're the fucking boss. You are the boss. Literally do something about it. When Punk talked about Tony Khan, he basically confirmed what we all feel about Tony. He's a nice guy. We all know that. He's probably a great human being, right? Probably a decent guy. I don't know. I don't care. But he also said he's not a boss. He's just a nice guy. He's not a boss. Also, interesting details about how unprofessional AEW can be. For example, he basically confirmed that yes, nobody met him in London. He had to travel by himself. That's your biggest star. Like, this is high school. This is worse than high school. But that's not even the worst part. So let's talk about the tricep injury. So he suffered one in AEW too, and he revealed that for 6 months, nobody talked to him. He had to take care of this by himself with his money. Nobody gave a shit. He just had to take care of this by himself. And he compared that to the WWE, where obviously he suffered the same injury, but a different arm, I believe. And he said, everything is taken care of, it's almost automatic. You gotta sympathize with CM Punk a little bit right here, because obviously people are spreading all these lies and nobody asked his opinion and the reporting on it. Guys like Meltzer, and he called him a goof, I believe. Look, people, I like that AEW exists. At one point was my favorite wrestling show. The thing is though, I gotta agree with CM Punk right here. He said, this show is not about selling tickets, it's not about business, and he just kinda insinuated that they're just doing this shit for Meltzer almost, which is kinda true in a way. I see that point of view, I definitely do. Like, I'm a big wrestling fan, right, but WWE can be really basic, but it's about stories. Even though it's basic, I get it. I see a cool AEW moment and I'm like, okay, maybe I should give it another chance. I'm gonna watch AEW. And it's just a bunch of random shit happening. And even if the matches are good, even if a lot of shit is happening, it's happening so much to the point that you just don't give a shit anymore. You get used to it during the same show, I would say. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't want to say anything negative about AEW because obviously I'm gonna piss off a lot of people. I see you writing in the comments right here. But that's how I feel and it's my job. My job is to give you my honest thoughts and that's what I'm doing. I think it's an appropriate situation for me to tell you how I feel. I like that AEW exists, not in a selfish way. Not because I want to watch the product, but because a lot of people have jobs and shit. Like, they're building stars and stuff, so that's good. I guess my biggest problem with this situation and why I'm leaning towards CM Punk right here is that why would you tell this shit to anyone in the first place? Oh, he tried to do... I'm gonna tell Meltzer! It's like, okay, so... is it that you want this company to succeed, or do you want to have fun with your friends? He also said that all of these reports that AEW roster hates him is complete bullshit, like the majority of the roster actually liked CM Punk, which again, we can't confirm that shit, but after he did leave, like, we saw a lot of people saying thank you Punk, and that's pretty much what he said about AEW. Whether you believe him or not, doesn't matter. We are yet to hear the other side talking about this shit. I guess one thing's for sure, AEW can be really unprofessional, and I know a lot of people are angry right now because I said something negative about a company they like, but you know what, people? You don't work for AEW, you do not work for WWE. At the end of the day, It's not that big of a deal. He also talked about how he came back to the WWE, and it was basically Nick Khan who tried to get Punk in the WWE for a very long time, even going back to WWE backstage show. He got a call from Nick, and Nick thought that there's a non-compete, because that's usually the case. He also talked to Triple H, and they talked about a lot of stuff, some personal stuff, basically water under the bridge, and that's so great to hear. I wanna see a backstage segment on WWE television with CM Punk and Triple H. I feel like so far that is one of the biggest missed opportunities when it comes to CM Punk in the WWE, but it was just so cool to hear how he came back to the WWE. It was almost kind of boring, you know, everything just went so smoothly, but I like the fact that he and Triple H are like good, right? They talked about shit, so that's awesome. He also talked about Vince McMahon, and I'm like, okay, WWE are about to wrap that shit up. You're about to get a call, dude. I appreciate your honesty, but brother, you gotta chill. You gotta chill. I don't want to see CM Punk getting in trouble. But it's not like he said anything wrong. He basically called him a shitty human being and all that. But it's almost like you don't see that shit happening backstage, just like with Chris Benoit. But then you're like, okay, yeah, that kinda makes sense. Which is an interesting way to put it for sure, I guess. He did meet Vince McMahon once in the gym. He was talking to Nick Khan, and one of the Vince's boys said, Vince McMahon doesn't like when you're on the phone in the gym. But he was talking to Nick. So they hugged it out, and he said, welcome home, pal. Let's reconnect. And they never did. Ariel was like, did you ever meet again? I think some stuff came up, Ariel. He was asked about AJ Lee's potential return. Are you planting seeds? He said, so far no, but you never know. We'll see. He would love to see that happening because he's the biggest fan, of course. He also talked about WrestleMania and said that the original plan was Seth Rollins versus CM Punk, maybe in the main event, but it's not something that he, complains about. He's just doing what's being asked. Back in the day, he would be like, where are we going with this? What am I doing next? What's my next rivalry? What's my next match? Am I main eventing? Am I not? And this time around, he just listens and he's just going with the flow. We'll see what happens. What I got from this interview, and it's yet to be seen, but CM Punk is a team player, and one of my favorite quotes was, if you are more worried about some goof giving you a 5-star match and the building is quarter full, we're not in the same business. The way CM Punk handled things, I don't necessarily agree with. I think it could have been handled 1,000 ways differently, better. The thing is, though, I think he got way too much shit from the wrestling community, and in a way, yes, it's also unprofessional, but I kinda get it. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. We're talking about it because wrestling drama is fun. That's what's important. It's not that serious. It's interesting. This interview was absolutely wild, and I'm just here for entertainment, right? So thank you for watching this video. The Great One, peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.